Yeah, the call of wild's always bringing me home. Call of wild's always bringing me home. Call of wild's always bringing
Hello,
me
wild ones. Welcome to
home.
another episode of the Find Your Wild podcast. I'm very excited to have my really good friends here today, Natasha and Brian Burrus. They are wildlife photographers, and Brian is now a guide in Yellowstone National Park. So I'm so excited to have you guys on today. How are you guys doing?
Good,
Awesome.
thank you.
Yeah, pretty excited.
Good. Good. Yeah, I'm so excited to have you guys. And have you guys, so Natasha, I know you just got off of work, but were you guys out in the park at all today?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're both out.
wonderful.
Yeah, I
How
work
was it?
remotely, so I was just kind of working from my car.
Oh, that's nice. That's great.
Yeah.
I was just out looking for wolves.
Yeah, there was a
Wonderful.
wolf seen this morning, but we didn't see it,
No.
unfortunately.
Wonderful. Awesome. Well, let's start with how did you guys meet again? Because I think that that'll be a fun place to start because you guys really connect. Obviously, we all connect on the wolf wildlife aspect, but I'd love for people listening to hear that too.
So Brian is a tour guide in Yellowstone, and he was watching wolves. I think it was at your free time. And I was with a friend, and we kind of had a feeling to go down to the southern area of Yellowstone to watch a wolf pack called the Wapiti Lake pack. And we got there and had some amazing luck seeing wolves. And Brian was there, and my friend knew Brian. My friend's name is Ron. Hey, Ron, if you're watching. And then so Ron introduced us, and we became friends quickly, and just been, scoping for wolves ever since.
Yeah, I think I was
This
off.
was last year in July.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Last July, and then I think I was off, and then I actually happened to see one of my clients from either the day before or one of the recent ones, and we saw the wolves come up, and we started taking pictures, and then that's how we met.
Oh, that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
It's really lovely that, wildlife brings people together. And, I think that when we were, chatting before we got on here, the last time was that it was just so nice to connect with people, right? Like that kind of have the same passions as you,
Yes.
and to
Yeah.
find them. It's so nice.
Yeah. And we come from all walks of life.
Mhm.
I have friends here who are, from the East Coast, from Montana, from California, and we all met each other here because of the wildlife. And one of our friends said, there's probably no other way that we would have met otherwise, because we are so different and live in such different places. And so, yeah, the wildlife brought us together, and it's great. Like, it's great to have a community that is so supportive. I love it.
Yeah, the wolves brought everybody together.
Yes. And even
Yeah.
before I started posting on Instagram, after I met my little community here, they kind of gave me more courage to start posting. And don't be afraid. Just post. If you have something to say, then we're behind. We got you back.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. It's really powerful. And you guys get some pretty amazing shots. I'll include some of your work at like the end so people can see it. But like I love your close-ups, Natasha, too, of the
Yeah.
wolves. And I feel like Brian, you kind of get like the whole scene, which is nice too.
Yeah.
It's like you guys have like
Yeah.
your own like niches in what you like to grab, which is why I think that photography in and of itself is so beautiful and interesting because everybody can still have their own unique perspective through the lens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even if we're at the same place at the same time,
Yeah.
you see.
The
Yeah.
same wolf
Something
coming
different.
towards us or
Yeah.
something, and we still get different photos,
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
styles. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. So, I'd also love to add like how you guys kind of got, in love, or like how you guys started being in love with wolves and like what kind of drew you in. So, maybe Brian, you want to start first, and then Natasha will have you go.
Sure. So I always loved huskies growing up and always wanted to have a husky. And they're similar to wolves. When I came here to Yellowstone in 2018, I one of my friends back from Sequoia, her name's Christina. She told me about reading American Wolf by Nate Blacksley, and I was reading the book and kind of fell in love with the wolves. Had made my first goal that summer to see a wolf, and through reading the book, I found out that there is a den in Slough Creek. I had no idea if it was still there or not because I didn't really do no research. I just had some cheap Walmart binoculars, I think some Bushnells or something, and got up real early, like 4:30 one morning, and just went out there and got down Slough Creek Road, and then saw a whole bunch of people there, and figured I was in the right place, and started asking a few people, and they were like, "Well, the den's up on the hill over there." And with my little binoculars, they look like little ants, and just kind of fell in love with them. And then I was working in Canyon Village at the time, later on, and not knowing that there was a wolf pack, the Wapiti Lake pack, right down the street from me, and found out about a carcass by working in the gift shop. And through that, I went to the carcass and saw him. Someone was kind enough to let me use the scope, and then just fell in love with that pack and met some friends, Becky and Julie, and they taught me all about the Wapitis, and now I just follow them around and just try to see them as much as I can.
Yeah, that's amazing. And Natasha, how did your story also started with a book, right?
Yes. So back in 2010, 2011-ish, I went to a bookstore with my brother and I saw this book called Never Cry Wolf. It had 2 wolves on the front cover, and I was like, I have to get this book. Something was calling me. Maybe it was the wolves. I think it was the wolves on the cover. And so I bought the book, thought it was a fiction, didn't really read any fine print. And then I started reading it and realized quickly that it wasn't. And just from reading this book, it's about a man who works for the government agency that sends him up north to observe why the wolves are decimating caribou in the Arctic tundra or whatever. And of course, he went there and found out that it wasn't the wolves that were killing all the caribou like they had said. And from everything that this man wrote in that book, it just stuck with me. I pretty much inhaled that book, and ever since then I was like, I really want to do something to help wolves because of all that what we've done to them. And I was clueless to what we had done to them. I mean, growing up, I was never loving wolves or really. I loved animals, but it was mostly domestic animals, dogs, cats, animals that I knew. But the wilderness was so far out from me. I grew up in a city, and I just never really even thought about wolves. And ever since that book, I just couldn't stop thinking about them and what I can do to help them.
Wow, that's so beautiful. And I feel like it's really unfortunate that the wolf is such an easy scapegoat for blame, unfortunately, when it comes to, right, wildlife, other wildlife, when it comes to elk and caribou and all these things. The wolf is the easiest scapegoat, but it rarely is the full culprit. I mean, they can only kill so much, and that's why they hunt in packs, right? Because they need all that support to be able to take down, and they're opportunistic killers, so they're gonna go out and just take whatever is easiest. So that's why they usually try to get the sick and whatnot.
The
But
sick, the old, the injured.
yeah,
And with that, they keep the herds healthy.
Yeah.
The
Right.
prey and predators, they evolved for thousands of years, and no one has been extinct until man put their hand in there and started killing everything. And we almost they were at the brink of extinction. We almost killed them all off for no reason.
Yeah.
Just a lot of myths and misbeliefs.
Yeah.
That have been passed down.
Yeah. Mythical.
Yeah. And I think that's what's really special and unique about Yellowstone, right? And what gravitates people who love wolves to go there. Because I remember having on Diane Boyd, and I remember us talking about the the elk subject, how, people obviously think that the wolves are killing all the elk, but there's all these other factors that people
No.
don't take into
Yeah.
place. But,
Yeah.
she was even saying about Yellowstone, because she tracked wolves for over 40 years, and like it was very hard to go and actually find them, like the lengths she would go to make sure she had no scent, or her traps had no
Mhm.
scent, or anything like that, to be able to study these wolves in Montana. Are the, it's very similar, I feel like, or when she was talking about Yellowstone, how she's like, people are so lucky they're able to go
Yeah.
with like their cups of coffee and like, drive around and
Mhm.
go and see them.
You see a wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the junctions and the
But it's like a
Wapitis are
mecca for people that love wolves, and like I feel like it's such a beautiful place that you guys are able to go and explore and enjoy.
Yeah, we
yeah.
are lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Lucky to live here.
yeah, and I remember Rick McIntyre when he first started reading about this, when he first started working in the park. He thought maybe he'd see wolves here and there, and then on the first day, I think he saw,
Mhm.
I don't even know how many wolves, and he's been watching wolves for over 30 years and has the most hours of
Observe.
observing wolves. And yeah, in Yellowstone, it's pretty easy to observe them, whether they're
Yeah.
far or kind of close. But it's a magical place if you'd like to see a wolf, because most likely you may not ever see one in the wilderness outside of the park.
Yeah. The Junction View Pack is viewed almost every day of the year out there in Lamar Valley. We both like the Wapiti Lake Pack out here in Hayden Valley. They're a little bit harder to see once they move away from their den because they have a whole range of the whole interior of the park. So basically, they could be anywhere once
Yeah,
the pups start traveling with the adults. So that's what makes it fun, actually, trying
yeah,
to find them.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. So, I would love to hear like kind of maybe some of, without giving it too much away, because Brian, I know you have a tour company that you're starting, so I don't want to give away all of your
Yeah,
tricks of the trade for the business, but like, what are
sure.
maybe some like basic like kind of like tracking things? I always find that very interesting of like like, oh, what can you pick up on, like, like I guess like their, obviously like their den sites that you were talking about, right?
hmm
Like there's all these different things that people don't realize like how to find them. So,
Yeah, so in early part of the year, like April to end of June to mid-July, depends on the wolves, but they're at their den site. So if you know a spot where their den is, which there's known ones for the Junction View Pack and the Wapiti Lake Pack, one in Lamar Valley and one in Hayden Valley. And you just look for the people with the scopes and just ask them, and they may let you see them. More often than not, they're nice, and they'll let you look in their scopes, and you can see the wolves, maybe even the puppies if they come out of the den. And that's probably the easiest time to see them.
mm,
Sometimes when they choose what they call a rendezvous site, once the pups get old enough, when they're teaching them how to become a wolf, those could be out of the view of the public, and sometimes it makes it a little harder to find,
mm,
like this year and last year for the Wapitis.
yeah, that's pretty cool. And what else was I gonna say? Yeah,
About
no,
tracking
but
them, look for tracks.
Yeah, look for
You
tracks
look for
in
tracks
the
in the mud or
snow and
snow,
yeah,
howling.
howling.
howling. Yeah. Um, I was gonna say, is it usually easier? Because I find that a lot of photographers have when they're eating at a carcass, right? So, like, is
Mhm.
that usually like a popular, like, usually a lot of people can see them if they have a kill or something like that, or
Yeah,
scavenging?
yeah. So if there's a carcass around, that's probably the most likely you'll be able to see them. Because they'll be hanging around that site for sometimes just hours or even days. 'Cause
Mm,
they'll come back and visit, depending on the size of the pack, how long a carcass will last, or if a bear will come in and steal the carcass from the wolves. That happens sometimes. Like this year, there's been a grizzly following the Molly wolf pack around, just kind of stealing their food and just following them around trying to get their food, kind of being lazy. So just last week the Mollies had taken down an elk, and then that bear was there, but they each shared it. I think what I heard is that the bear got one leg and then the wolves got the other three.
All right.
So
Well,
yeah,
the wolves are probably like, "Aren't you supposed to be hibernating soon? Like, get out of here."
yeah, yeah. Well, he's a smart bear because he's trying to get fatten up for
Get
the winter.
get big, fatten up.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah,
And
and
it just
bears are
shows you
big
when
scavengers.
when the
Sorry,
wolves make a
Natasha.
kill. Just shows you when the wolves make a kill, everyone eats.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
ravens, bald eagles, bears, everyone gets fed. So
Even insects, though.
Yeah.
Once everything leaves, the insects come in.
yeah,
And
the little
finish it
critters
up.
like ermines probably that we saw the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw the picture that you guys uploaded from I think a couple weeks ago, where you guys saw the bones after that they were done eating, and it was like picked clean. There
Oh
was
yeah.
nothing,
Yeah.
not a shred of meat on that.
Nothing left.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Even
yeah,
though,
but
you
it's
know, sometimes you'll hear that wolves kill for sport, but they have to eat to survive.
Mhm.
This is a dangerous game to hunt an elk or a bison or, you know, whatever prey they're hunting, because these animals are usually, you know, 3 sizes bigger than the wolves. So they risk their lives when they're hunting, and they have to eat to survive. So
When they're using their jaws, trying to bring down.
Right.
they're doing the hunt all with their jaws.
Yeah.
You know.
That's their
Right.
weapon.
Yeah.
It's not like a
Same.
cat that has their
No.
claws to
Yeah.
help
Yeah.
balance it
Exactly.
out. Like there is
Yeah.
teamwork and jaw work. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of risk. A lot of
They
risk
could get
with
kicked or gored.
that. So
Yeah.
And
yeah.
a lot of wolves have died from injuries from their prey. There was
Right.
oh my god, there was such a gory scene a couple of years ago. People were posting videos of this black wolf from the junction
Yeah.
back. She
Was
was
that last
walking
year?
with her jaw, I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
She was walking with her jaw, oh maybe last year, sorry.
Yeah.
Her jaw was hanging. It was just hanging.
And her lower jaw.
Her lower jaw was hanging,
like
and
flapping.
she probably did not survive. And that's
Yeah.
like they risk their lives to eat. So hunting for sport, and they always consume everything. It's like if wolves kill more than they can eat, they will consume it later. Sometimes there's an abundance of prey, or there's more weak animals that they can get like today, and they'll consume it. It's not like they're just let's just kill it and who cares.
And they'll come back.
They'll come back.
They'll come back
keep
a
it
couple
clean,
days
yeah.
or maybe even a week later
Yeah.
to try to look for food if they haven't eaten.
Yeah.
Again, that's
Visit
that
old carcasses.
opportunistic feeding, right? Like that they're okay, I can maybe this will hopefully be less of a risk because they seem more injured. There's a couple of injured that I know will be able to get or, you know, however, and then right, like they'll cache it, right? Like there's a lot of animals that'll
Yeah.
cache their
Yeah.
food.
just
So
like
it's not killing for sport, like they're still
No.
consuming the food. So they're just gotta wait until they're hungry again.
they're hungry again,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or they'll bring it to the den to the puppies and regurgitate.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
that's going to be picked clean for sure.
Yeah. So just like last week when they had the carcass, they were taking off organs and caching them other places to come back to eat later.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want those other animals to steal their
No.
hard earned meal. Yeah.
It was consumed pretty quickly too. I was
Yeah.
surprised. Like within a
Yeah.
couple hours, a lot of it was gone.
So last week we had probably the best sighting of wolves on a carcass ever. You've been here
Wow.
for 8 years.
Yeah.
So Brian was actually at the crime scene early in the morning. He actually saw the wolves crossed in front of his car, crossed the road in front of his car. Yeah,
Wow.
and then they chased this elk cow.
Cow elk, yeah.
Cow elk, which ended up in the river, and the river is about 100 yards away from the road, and so he saw them chase it. You didn't see them take it down, but then they were consuming it, and you know, people heard about it. People drive by. Everyone just couldn't believe what we were seeing. The wolves, and then they would cross the road once they get their fill. It was such an amazing day with wolves, and then once they got full, they went up on a hill and they started howling and playing and just lying on their bellies, and it was such an amazing day to watch them.
Yeah.
Intense.
So I was actually going to the Molly kill that they had from the day before, and I was supposed to meet Natasha and our friend Ben, but they got Ivan, and
Ben. We had Ben on before.
We met him on before, so
We love
Um,
Ben. He's great. Hi,
yeah,
We
Ben.
do love
we
Ben.
do. And so I was running late, and our friend Hannah, who you probably know as well,
Yes.
Hannah
Yeah.
Ruth,
I
yeah.
forgot her. Oh yeah, that's right.
And so she was in front of me, and she pulled over because the car was going too slow, or was up on her butt, I guess. I don't remember what she said, but she pulled over, and all of a sudden in front of me comes the cow elk, and right on its tails was like 5 wolves right on its butt. And then I couldn't get my phone up quick enough to get a video, but I did get a video of a few of them running across the road, and a couple other ones stayed up on the hill. And just I saw them run towards the picnic area called Nespers, and I went over that way to try to find them. And by the time I got back, the other ones were just howling on the hillside, not knowing that the other ones had taken it down on the river. Until I went up the road just a little bit, and then I saw the saw the carcass, and then that's when
Wow.
the fun ensued. And trying to let everyone know, but there's no cell service there, so it's kind of hard to get friends. I tried to get as many as I could, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
And
was
then
a
the rest of
mind
the day
blowing
was
day.
just
It was crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the beautiful thing too that I love about like the wildlife photography
Hmm.
too. When I went with my friend Aspen, she does guides. I think I told you guys she guides in Alligator River, which I'm going to go
Hmm.
see her in a couple of weeks to go look at the wild wild red wolves over there.
Yeah.
But just the network of people that are connected, that
Hmm.
are like, when you find friends that really love like also what you guys are looking at and being
Yeah.
able to give each other the
Mhm.
heads up, it's so important. I think especially in the wild world, like how hard it is to
Oh
be
yeah.
able to see these
See
animals,
something like that. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yellowstone is 2.3 million acres, and there's only roughly around 100 wolves in Yellowstone, so it's almost trying to find a needle in a haystack, kind of. But the
Yeah.
Wapiti Lake pack is the biggest pack, so they have a little over 20 members, and
Wow.
they're, they're harder to find sometimes.
Right, because
So
you
when
said
something like
are
But
this
yeah,
happens, it's like, oh my God.
yeah,
yeah,
are those the
Uh,
ones that you said had range of the interior of
yeah. The
the
whole
of
interior, so
Yellowstone? Yeah.
they go from basically from Mammoth all the way down to Old Faithful, West Thumb area,
And up
over
north,
to Hayden Valley, and then
last
yeah.
Thanksgiving Day, they showed up in another pack's territory, the Rescue Creek pack. They showed up
Mm.
in the northern range, which is not their range. And like they had 27 members last year
Mhm.
at that time, and all 27 members were there. It was crazy to
On
yeah, it was crazy to
Thanksgiving
see.
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's very cool.
I wish I
Do
was
you
there.
guys do you guys have a favorite pack?
A
Yes, the
Wapiti.
Wapiti Lake pack is our
Is
favorite.
How can you
that
tell?
a usual favorite amongst, wildlife photographers or wildlife viewers?
No, most of them like the junctions up
Most
The
people hang
in
up
junction.
in the northern
the
range
northern
and look at
range.
the junctions. Yeah.
So I would love to know. So what makes the Wapiti pack like unique that you guys really love them, that makes them your favorite?
For one, there's like normally less people down here
Yeah.
trying to find the wolves, and well, I used to work in Canyon, so being close to them and with my friends Julie and Becky teaching me about the Wapitis, I fell in love with them back then in 2018, and just continue to watch them since then. They had the third white alpha female. And then there's been 3 white alpha females in Hayden Valley. The current one is the fourth one. She's the fourth white alpha female,
Which is pretty
which
rare
is
to have
rare.
it in a
Yeah,
while.
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah. So I think it was the Canyon pack first, and then the Hayden pack, or vice versa.
Yeah.
One of them was collared and was shot and killed outside the park, or no, inside the
One of
park.
the alpha females.
One of the alpha females, and there's actually a reward still to this day to bring the person to justice who shot and killed her.
That's awful. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
terrible.
they're pretty special. I remember when
Mhm.
I first came to Hayden last summer, I was watching the wolves in their den area, which is a couple of miles away from the road. But you can see them well with the scope, and then I saw the little puppies come out and play, and I think that was the first thing that got me kind of hooked to them.
Oh, God.
And then my friend and I were looking for them one early morning in last July, and he saw this little black spot moving on the hill, and so we were like, oh my God, that's a wolf, and we kind of went towards the direction where we thought she would come out, and she did. And it was early in the morning, so there were not a lot of people. There were just enough people at this little pull out at Josie's, my dog. And this wolf was just, I think it was a yearling, so she was pretty curious, and she kind of approached. Ever since then, like they just won my heart.
Yeah. Oh, how beautiful. And it's really sad too, obviously, the targeting and the killing of wolves.
Yeah.
I know, Natasha, we talked about it a little bit that, sometimes the Yellowstone wolves will get baited outside of the borders of the park. And
Yeah.
I think that this is something that obviously doesn't get talked about enough, that,
No.
they're
Because
supposed to be protected. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many groups and guiding age tours, guiding groups
Tour guides.
tour guides that are trying to
Tour companies.
prevent Yellowstone wolves from being killed outside the park, because it's just so unfair. I mean, it's unfair to all the wolves, but these wolves are protected, and as soon as they step out, and they can be baited because it's all legal. They can be baited. They can be
trapped,
snared. They can be, they're using the night vision to track them and to kill them. Anything is allowed.
Well, that's only Montana.
So everything is legal, unfortunately. But the wolves don't know that. They don't know there's a line,
imaginary
line, and when they cross it, they'll get killed.
They're used to seeing people with scopes and cameras.
They're used to seeing people in the park, so they think, oh well, they're just gonna watch me, I guess. I don't know, just shoot them. And that's why it's important to be very ethical when you're taking photos, which I am learning. Sometimes when you come to the park and you don't know, and if a wolf approaches you, like, you should actually be kind of chasing it away, and you should make sure that they associate the road with danger. So when they're crossing the road, they want to do it fast. They don't want to linger. And so the more I've been here and learning from Brian and our friend Julie, the more I'm realizing how important it is to be ethical and to try and keep these wolves wild as we can.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, the yearlings, they get a little.
The yearlings are the ones that are not afraid, and they'll approach, and then you kind of have to be like, okay, go away.
Yeah.
Right.
You're too close.
I'll have to run at them or clap at them sometimes when they're near the road.
Yeah, you got to teach them, right?
Yeah, you're supposed to call the wildlife management, call 911 and try to get them there, but a lot of times they're busy doing other things.
Right.
They can't be everywhere at once, so sometimes we have to.
Yeah.
People have to step in and try to help out.
Yeah. And it's like you're right there, and hopefully it's like, something that obviously, like, we love the wildlife we're viewing, right? So we want to protect them at all costs. And I think that we're always learning, right? And like even from, like years and years ago, like we're learning the best way, and like the more we learn about wolves and their traits and everything like that, the more we move forward with like the best ethical practices for viewing wildlife, how we can best protect them, and everything like that. And
I'm still learning. I've been here 8 years, so.
I mean, it's really hard to contain yourself when you see a wild wolf approaching. I mean, it's such an ancient connection. It's really hard to step into your logical brain and be like, okay, you gotta go away, because I mean, they're magical. They're so healing. That I told Brian, maybe I told that.
You did.
when I saw that first wolf last year that kind of came closer and looked at me, it almost seems like they're looking right through you, and it almost seemed like 10 seconds of this wolf stare is like 10 years of therapy. I swear there's something so so magical and powerful and healing to be when you're in their presence.
Mm-hmm.
I cried. It took me like 3 hours to just stop shaking. It was just beautiful, you know. And it's no wonder when we kind of evolved with them. We were hunting with them,
Mm-hmm.
you know. In the past, they were our best friends, and we made them into our best domestic friends. So it's just, and our domestic dogs are healers. So and imagine having a wild wolf look right at you. It's like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can imagine that's like 10 times, you know? Yeah, I can absolutely. I mean, I saw my first like the wild red wolves were like the first wolves I saw in public because I went to Yellowstone when I was younger, like maybe 9 or 10, but I never saw the wolves when I was there, but I did hear them and we like camped out, we got an RV. It was one of the most memorable trips and like since then I've been dying to go back, which I will obviously let you guys know when I'm when I'm over there. But you know, it's just right, like there's something really powerful and connecting. I feel like it's like I don't know why like the wolf is so like, you know, it brings the best and the worst in people. It really does. And I think it really, you know, I was talking about this with my friend Nani from Women for Wolves, and I find it very interesting to the fact that like hunters like there's something about people that go and hunt wolves and want to take like the life of a wolf that makes me think of like the psychology aspect of that. Like why do they want to go and do that, right? It's not like a deer where you're killing for like the meat, like it's clearly just like a sport thing. And it kind of reminds me of like again the closeness of wolves to us and like how they must reflect like, you know, in them like qualities that they must hate that they're projecting onto the wolf.
Or the qualities that they wish to have, like a great hunter, you know.
Right. Like how similar, right? It's just so
Then
strange.
Yeah. I think there might be like this macho thing and jealousy, to be honest. And it's kind of sick.
Yeah, and we can learn so much from them, like their traits, their resiliency, their instincts. Like there's just so much, and we have learned so much considering we have dogs. And like, you know, I talk about that. I don't think that we would have a civilization who we are today without wolves because we wouldn't have had dogs. You know.
Yeah.
And even our hunting patterns, like I had.
So much joy.
Sorry, what'd you say, Brian?
The dogs bring us so much joy.
I know, right?
Especially mine.
I was talking with my friend David. He his page is ethnosynology, which is this like he studies the history of dogs, and a big factor of that because he loves like ancient, like kind of more primitive history as well, is our relationship with you know, wolves and how they eventually got turned into dogs, right? Like through but they said like I remember talking with him about that and how even our hunting styles were so similar with the wolf, which was why our pairing with them was so unreal and amazing. The wild world must have been like, what the hell is going on here? What kind of pack is this? When they first came out on the scene, you know?
Yeah, the Native Americans used to hunt alongside the wolves back then.
Yeah. And they still revere them as their brothers and sisters.
They think of it. They have a name for the wolf. It's called Magui, or brother.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's so beautiful. So I know that obviously, like we love wolves, but there are many other animals in Yellowstone. So what are some other really great animal wildlife experiences that you guys have had? I saw you. Did you send me a picture the other day? Was it like a white? What kind of animal is that called again?
Weasel.
Oh, it's a weasel.
An ermine. Yeah.
Oh, it's a long-tailed weasel.
Oh, right, ermine. So, yes, that's what it is. Right.
Ermine's a short tail.
Oh, never mind. I guess.
I
just
forget.
a weasel. Okay.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. The long-tail when it turns white.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had a great sighting. We had a great sighting with that little critter, and they're fast. So
they are.
He was just kind of posing for us for a little bit. It was crazy. Like I never thought I would see one like that.
It was on my birthday too.
It was on Brad's birthday. I was supposed to find him
Yeah.
wolves, but I found him a weasel.
So I never photographed one, so that's cool. I've seen them all.
Life or list, right?
Yeah. Grizzly bears.
Grizzly bears are amazing.
Yeah. There's so many bears out on the East Entrance Road that a lot of photographers take pictures of almost daily out there.
And in the Grand
Yellowstone.
Tetons,
Grand Tetons, yeah.
Also has some bears that have been kind of hanging. Mostly female bears will hang out
by the road,
roadside with their cubs because the male bears don't want to really be around people, and so that's how they protect their cubs. Do you know about Grizzly 399?
Yeah,
she was
the Queen of the Tetons. Yeah. But for listeners that don't know, explain, because she was a powerhouse of Yellowstone.
Yeah.
So
there was a photographer in the Grand Tetons, Thomas, I forgot his last name, Mangelson. He's been documenting and photographing her life for 20 years or so.
I think she was 28.
Wow.
She was 28 when she died. She got hit by a car. But she raised all her babies, or most of her babies, by the road so that she would avoid the danger from the male bears. And she was kind of like the
Queen of the Tetons.
Queen of the Tetons, but also known as very not aggressive, but just what's the word? It escapes me. Anyhow, she raised a lot of her babies, a lot of the cubs, and showed us. She was kind of an ambassador for grizzly bears everywhere because she was so documented. When she would come out by the road, I mean, that was like a mile long line of cars trying to get a photo of her.
And then in the Tetons, there's not like in Yellowstone where there's wide open spaces a lot where the bears hang out. So a lot of times because you have to stay 100 yards away from all bears and wolves.
Yeah.
But over there it's a little hard, so they have volunteers and wildlife management that tries to keep the people safe and keep them back from the bears over there.
Yeah, so she was basically an ambassador for coexistence between grizzlies and humans. And it's just so sad the way she left us. When I heard about her passing, I almost threw up.
Yeah.
It was really hard.
It was almost a year ago.
Yeah, it was a year ago, like
yesterday ago.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that because there's another photographer that I feel like Savannah Rose Wild.
Oh
yeah. And I saw a lot of 399 through her pictures, and I remember when I first saw the news, like I just was like gutted, if people document, right, and you kind of live through their eyes of all of these animals, and you're appreciative that they're able to capture and share these beautiful creatures with us through the internet, but it's so sad about that she got hit by a car, and that's it's the worst ending for such a queen, right?
For all these years that she survived and thrived and showed us, taught us about grizzlies. When I haven't been doing this for a long time, and when I first got into photography 2 years ago, and I met my first grizzly in the Tetons, which was Grizzly 1063, also called Bonita. She's so beautiful. I just remember seeing her one late October day, and it was snowing, and she was just grazing for hours and hours. She was just digging through the snow to find some food. And I was just watching her for hours and hours and hours, and I was like, wait, aren't you supposed to be this monster? Aren't grizzlies dangerous? I mean, of course they're dangerous. Of course you have to, stay away and be respectful. But I was kind of ignorant. I just thought that grizzlies, I guess I was terrified of them from the media and the things that you hear in the media about them. And honestly, they just want to live their life. They want to be left alone. They will always choose to walk away instead of a conflict. And they're beautiful. They're so beautiful. And I'm so grateful that I got to meet them and to learn about them. Yeah.
Unless you stumble upon them by a carcass, that's most of the time when people get injured, which happen.
Yeah, if you go on a hike and there's a grizzly on a carcass, or there's a mom with cubs that's dangerous.
Right.
So you always have to be alert in the grizzly country. You have to hike in groups. You have to make noise, carry bear spray, do what you can. Because we watched a couple of months ago, we watched a grizzly mom with her 2 cubs with the scope. She was like a mile away, and all of a sudden she stood up on her hind legs and started sniffing the air. And we thought there was a male bear coming, that she was sniffing the male bear. And no, it wasn't a male bear. It was 3 hikers coming towards her, but they were so far.
Yeah.
And what she did, she sniffed them and she just kind of backed away and went into the woods with her babies. So that told me that they would rather avoid the conflict to be safe.
Right.
And these hikers had no clue. Like, these hikers came to the spot where the bear was, and they opened their sandwiches and they were eating. They had 0 clue that there's a mom grizzly there. And I was, that taught me a lot about their behavior, because she could have attacked them, but she didn't. She chose to leave.
To flee.
Yeah.
Hello, wild ones. I hope you're enjoying this episode of the Find Your Wild podcast. I have some exciting news. This April 2026, me and Dr. Carla Ionescu are taking a couple of lucky people to Greece this year. It is going to be about the goddess Artemis. So all about the goddess of the wilderness, the forest. We're going to be doing amazing things like exploring her ancient sites where she's worshipped, like Burrus and Eleusis, Patras, and a couple of other places, as well as doing archery and clay making. So I hope that you're enjoying this episode. Check out the link in the description for more information, and we would love to see you there. Enjoy the rest of the episode. Hi, wild ones. I hope you're enjoying this episode of the Find Your Wild podcast. This episode is sponsored by my clothing brand, Femme Sauvage, and you can find a discount code and link in the description. So check it out. We have a lot of amazing designs, and $5 of the proceeds goes to different charities. So please feel free to check it out and enjoy the rest of the episode. Thanks so much. Right. And it shows like how wise they are, right? Like there's something about like the mama bear, right? That especially me being a mom, that is I really resonate with, because they're just really intelligent. They're really not, there's no reason, right? Like they don't want to get into a fight. They want to avoid conflict at all times because they're trying to protect their young. Like they're only going to go into that fight mode as like a last resort.
Yeah.
Or
I
don't know
if they
if you
get
guys,
startled, if you're walking through the woods, for example, and they just get startled because they
and you
didn't
startle
hear you.
them, right?
Yes, and that's why it's important to make noise in hiking groups. You just make noise, so then they'll back away.
Yeah.
So just know when you're in the grizzly country, know what you should do, and everyone's safe.
Yeah, exactly. And like I don't know, I just feel like there's, I don't know if you guys have seen that video of like that one mama bear. I think it's in Alaska, that video that was taken, but like she's fighting a male bear on a cliff, and one of the babies falls or something. But I think about it, just like it kind of lives in my head sometimes, because it's just like the ferocity of like, a mom's love and like just like protecting her young, and they're obviously like the sows are so much smaller than the big bears, but they don't care. They're gonna protect their babies at any cost. It's just like amazing.
Yeah.
I've seen that at carcasses where the sows will chase off the boars, fight them because they have their babies and trying to feed their babies. And they always say don't mess with the mama bear.
Yep. Yeah, I have a sweatshirt that says "Don't F with Mama Bear" too. That's like one of my favorites to wear. What's been like some of your most interesting encounters at the park? Like what have you guys seen and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like crazy?
Probably someone thinks. Go ahead.
Like with the wildlife. Well, one of the biggest things I've seen, so in 2021, I know Candace probably already talked about it, in 2021 in October, where the Wapiti Lake pack took down an elk on the road, next to the road. So me and my friends have been watching them for a while, for over a month, trying at this one location, and they weren't there that morning. So we split up. Some went one way, and I went towards Old Faithful, probably because I was still working in the park and probably was gonna go try to get breakfast. And I come down, come down over by just past Fountain Flats or Fountain Paint Pots area near Firehole Lake Drive, and I see it flashing lights up ahead, and I was like, well, there must be a wreck or something. And as I get closer, I see a whole bunch of cars there, and I was like, well, it must not be a wreck. There must be something going on. So I was like driving by, and as I'm driving by, I look over and see like three wolves eating on an elk carcass just off the road. So I pulled over, trying to call everybody, and my friend Julie was singing Christmas carols at the time because it's snowing and kind of raining at the same time. So we just sat there and watched them for a couple hours. And one of the wolves there was 1234M. He was a member of the Wapiti Lake pack. And later that winter, he actually got shot and killed outside the park, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's one of, I mean, I have a bunch of memories. So being
Yeah.
here for
But
eight
that was
years,
like
but
one that's
that's one of
vivid
the
in
better
your
ones.
head. Yeah.
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 And
That's a
also
good, I
September
can't even
11th of that.
imagine.
Yeah, September 11th that year too. They had a carcass. I don't know how anyone found it in this area, and the whole wolf pack was sitting there howling after some adults left because they howled and were like, "Hey, it's time to go," and the other ones just sat there on the hillside and started howling. It was pretty incredible to be
Yeah.
that close and hear them howl. That's one of my
Something,
favorite moments, actually.
something
And it
beautiful
only
about
shared with
hearing
like
them.
maybe 20 people,
Yeah,
if
Yeah.
that.
it's really amazing when you see a wolf and there's no one there. Like
Yeah.
one of my favorite moments.
Mhm.
Sorry, I mean it involves a wolf, but
That's
I've
okay.
seen other animals too. But it's just,
Oops.
I was so. Do you remember when that guy from Daniel, Wyoming, named Cody Roberts, tortured that wolf pup? He
Unfortunately,
chased her with a
yes.
snowmobile. It was all over the news.
Mm.
He chased her with a snowmobile and then ran her over, so he injured her, taped her mouth shut, and brought her to a bar. And then he tortured her even more in the bar and just paraded with her body. And then eventually took her out behind the bar and shot her. And when I read about that, I was just, I was, I was angry. I was sad. I was devastated that something like that could happen. And he just got away with $250 fine. And I was like, man, is really nothing gonna happen to this man and to people who do such things? And I just remember I come to Wyoming, and for a couple of weeks I just couldn't, like, I was just sad. I just kept thinking about that and how scary it is to go outside of these parks. Like that's what people do. They run over animals with snowmobiles as a pastime with their children. And there's no law that prohibits that. You can run over coyotes, you can run over wolves, mountain lions, whatever. And I was so sad, and nothing could make me feel better. And one day I was driving, just looking for wolves. Obviously, that's all I ever do. And as I was driving, this was in the Grand Teton National Park. As I was driving, I saw ravens and vultures just flying in a circle above, by the road, but it was like a dip off the road in the grass, in the willows. And I was like, man, there must be something going on there. There must be a carcass or something. And sure enough, I look, to my right, and there's a wolf on the carcass, a solo wolf. And there was a car behind me, I remember, and they didn't see it, they just took off. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, you just missed a wolf. And this wolf kept feeding on this carcass that I think a pack of wolves killed a day before. And he eventually got up, kind of crossed the road, and went his way. And this all lasted for about 13 minutes.
Wow.
Exactly 13 minutes, because I checked.
Wow.
And
Maybe 13.
and I was alone with this wolf. There were no cars. There was nothing. And I just kind of was taking pictures of him. It was a male wolf for sure, but I could tell by the size. And this wolf it was almost like he was sent to me to tell me that everything's going to be okay. And it was a couple of days before they had a meeting in Riverton, Wyoming, and one of the topics was this particular wolf that got run over by a snowmobile. And I was going to that meeting, and I was just I was planning to go to that meeting, and did go. But this wolf, it was almost like this wolf was like, it's gonna be okay. Like it is gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I finally calmed down, and nothing helped me but seeing this animal being wild and free, and just running and how they should be. So that was my absolute favorite encounter ever.
Yeah, having that all to yourself, I'm sure is really beautiful.
Yeah,
And
it
I
was so
think,
unexpected. Yeah.
yeah, I think that with the Cody Roberts thing, he's gonna be sentenced soon, right? Isn't there another thing happening where he's
Yeah.
hopefully gonna get sentenced now by a
Yeah, I
jury?
believe they
Well,
found him
the grand jury
guilty.
indicted him,
Yeah.
but they're still waiting for the sentencing.
Yeah.
I don't know when
The
that's gonna
sentencing,
happen, but
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but
I
he's not
feel
just gonna get away.
yeah.
And you know what? I have to give a lot of credit and big shout out to Jonas Black, because after that meeting in Riverton where people spoke up around the world regarding this wolf and how it was mistreated and how he deserves, there should be some consequences. After that, it was crickets. Like they didn't do anything to change the laws in Wyoming. Nothing really happened. And then Jonas Black, this dog trainer from Texas who seemingly came out of nowhere, started organizing a rally to ride a motorcycle from Texas to Daniel, Wyoming, and raise money so that he can help the nonprofit agencies, and so they can file lawsuits and basically protect these animals in Wyoming and change the laws. And he organized this rally called Hawks for Hope, and because they named the wolfie, they named her Hope, because she's a hope for all other wolves. And I feel like with his determination and his just he gathered so many wolf advocates, including me, to go and to this rally in Daniel, Wyoming, and I did go. And I just remember like driving through Daniel, Wyoming, and I had a noodle in my throat. It was really hard. I saw this bar, and I was when I was driving there, I was like, where did he chase her? Was it on this field? Was it here? Was it here? And Hogs for Hope will keep continuing every year, keep gathering in Daniel, Wyoming until they change the laws. And I feel like because Jonah stepped in and raised such awareness, and he's just doing his thing, and I love it. A little bit of a rebel and a revolutionary.
Yeah.
That's what we need sometimes. We need to kick them in the butt with someone like Jonas.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like this is all coming around because of him.
Yeah. It's and thank you to Jonas for doing that, because I think it really did do something, right? I know that the law didn't change. I know that there was an initial start to try to change the law, and it didn't get approved but it's just it's something that I don't understand, right? It's just like inherently cruel. It's not like you're I can't imagine you'd immediately kill that animal if you ran them over. Like clearly that didn't happen with Hope, and then the additional torture, which is unseemly. But it's really important. Like, why do we want to have this as something that, like you said, Natasha, that is like, that our kids are like, people are teaching their kids to do, like you're making it a generational thing. Like, it's different, like it's complete cruelty, and I don't think that we should have that. I'm not a fan of hunting either, but there's something especially cruel about being able to do that on a snowmobile.
This young wolf that was probably running free with her family, all of a sudden she's behind a freaking bar waiting to get shot. I mean, like,
and
what is wrong with people?
She wasn't even a year old either.
Yeah.
I think. This is just a pup.
Just a baby. Yeah. It's awful.
Yeah, that's awful. And they say that people that like abuse animals turn out to be serial killers.
Yeah, something must be very
something
wrong with you if you're doing that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like that's what I don't understand. It's like that there's right, like there's something about the sport of that's
Hmm.
weird. I like it's
Yeah.
and Brian, you're right. It's like, those people sometimes come out to be serial killers because there's something,
Hmm.
just like if you're
Something
able to
off
do
with them.
something that
Yeah.
comfortably, it's kind of disturbing. So, but maybe a
Yeah.
little more than kind of. Just like really deeply
Yeah.
disturbing. I
Yeah.
would love to change the subject a little because Brian, you're now a guide
Sure.
in Yellowstone. So I would love to
Hmm.
pick your brain a little bit about, I know that there's millions of people that travel to Yellowstone
Hmm.
every year to go look for wildlife and just to enjoy nature. So like maybe do you have any like tips and tricks for people that are traveling to Yellowstone or anything that you could give them on like what to prepare them for if they haven't been?
Yeah, I could talk about that a little bit. Since I've been out here 8 years, I've observed a lot of activity in the park. It's good to come in early in the morning, like before sunrise or right around sunrise, before 10 o'clock normally. The traffic's not as busy. So if you come in early or stay out late, like after 5 to dark, people are going out for dinner. So the park's a little bit less busy in those times. During the middle of the day, you're going to find long lines at places. You'll find parking lots full. Um, Even like the restaurants will be full. So like even at Old Faithful, they have what they call a geyser rush, where every about 90 minutes, Old Faithful goes off, and so 5,000 or more people flock to either the bathroom, the gift shop, going to eat, or the visitor center. So within that time, they could get quite busy over there. Also, if you're driving through the park, just look for people with scopes. A lot of times, more often than not, they're either going to have a wolf or a bear in their scope. Sometimes it'll be something else, but more, probably
More
90% of the
often
time,
than
it's either
not.
wolf or bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and then what else could I talk about?
Be respectful.
Be respectful of the park. Um, so in the park, they have a leave no trace policy. So take only photographs, leave only footprints is kind of their motto out here. The animals, you're supposed to stay 25 yards away from them. Bears and wolves, 100 yards away. So if you're driving through the park, a lot of people, as soon as they see their first bison, of course they're going to be excited and they stop in the middle of the road. But kindly pull off to the pull out if there's a pull out around, or they have the white line on your right, and you have to get all four tires safely off that white line in order to view the animals. So especially on the west entrance road, that's where a lot of the traffic comes in from because a lot of the lodging is out there. So that gets quite congested,
Mm,
and they get bison jams, elk jams, bear jams, depending on the time of year out there. So
yeah.
just be prepared that you may have to wait. Don't get in a hurry. Um, if you're with your family, just have fun. Maybe sing songs or something to pass the time because it could be an hour to 2 hours, but now or maybe even more. But they also have what they call traffic management now that they are doing a better job than when I first got here of trying to keep the traffic moving, especially out there on the west side of the park.
Right. Yeah. Um and I know getting out early in the morning is
Yeah.
essential for the viewing of wildlife, right?
Mhm. Yeah. I find that mornings I think is better than evenings most of the time.
Yeah.
Probably, but you never know. Yeah.
Mornings and evenings
Yeah.
are the best to view
Yeah.
wildlife.
But also you
Yeah.
have wolves crossing in the middle of the day sometimes too,
Yeah.
so you just kind of never know.
You never
Sometimes
know.
it's like you have to be the right place at the right time kind of thing. Sometimes I even have to
Yeah.
tell myself that I can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah, there's so much happening, especially
Yeah.
in the spring when
Yeah. All the
the
babies.
babies are born and
Right.
Yeah. The best time to
Right.
come is in the spring when all the babies are out, moving around and the pups start coming out of the den. About end of May, early June is probably a good time before the summer crowds start coming in. But as I've seen here in the 8 years, there used to be a shoulder season between April and July, where there'd hardly be anybody, and then after Labor Day too, then there'd be nobody. But now it's just, even right now, it's still kind of busy outside in the park, unfortunately.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's
I bet.
good for business, I guess, too.
Yeah.
So last year they had over 5 million visitors in the park. I'm
Wow.
not sure what
Wow.
this year was. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And it just goes to show how powerful Yellowstone and the tourism industry is, which is why we
Mm.
should protect our wildlife, especially those that are supposed to be protected in that
Yeah.
park as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Then
ask
there's
you,
the,
oh, sorry, what you're going to say, Brian?
I would say the ecotourism out here is $82 million just for tours for bears and wolves for people to come see them. That doesn't include lodging and everything else, the food that they're spending.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just people spending money on guides.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So another reason why, like, uh, how powerful, right? Like, even just like,
Hmm.
it's crazy because like that clearly makes more money than what like a hunting license or something would do.
Yeah.
I think it's
But
well
it all
worth
comes
it to
down to
keep
cattle
our
ranchers.
animals alive.
Hmm.
Alive and
Yeah.
protected. And I feel like it's such a great family thing too. Like I said, I was in Yellowstone when I was like really young, but like what a great like family experience, to be able to see the dynamics of nature, to like, explain like the mama bear and like the wolf pack dynamics and like how familial
Hmm.
they are. So it's like cool to go with your family to see these kind of like wild family dynamics as well play
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the America's kind of rediscovered the parks after COVID. Seems like a lot more
Yeah.
people coming outside because when you're shut down, that's the only place you could go. So now I think they've rediscovered it a little bit.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully there's people can appreciate it more, and hopefully that will inspire them to protect our wild spaces and
Mm.
places and realize the value that our ecosystem has for us, and not just for us to even view, obviously, which is amazing that we can do that, but just that
Mm.
there's an importance to the ecosystem down to the little bugs and the big carnivores. Like,
Mm.
everybody has an important place. So yeah.
Well, just like when they took out the wolves in 1926, the last wolf was killed here in Yellowstone. It caused a big effect, and then once they reintroduced them back in 1995, they caused that trophic cascade of bringing them back in and start healing the rivers and streams because the elk weren't trampling them anymore. They were having to actually be like wild animals and not congregating in one
Alert.
space
Yeah.
and having to move around, them and the bison, which
Yeah.
in turn brought the moose and the beaver population back more. And now they're saying that the aspens are actually starting to come back more because of the wolves as well.
Wow. Look at how beautiful
Yeah.
that like connection is.
Mm.
Right? Like that's like that. I forget what the video was called, right? Like how wolves change rivers. I know I,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
talked about that a little bit with my when I had Diane Boyd on, and she did say there was a little bit more to that than she's like, obviously wolves are
Mm.
amazing, but there was a couple other things that
Other
helped
factors.
along with that
Yeah.
at that time, but it still goes to show how important wolves are to balancing the ecosystem.
Hmm.
Like we need our carnivores out
Yeah.
there, and I think that like appreciating carnivores also brings something like mentally inside of us, like to be able to like view and accept like wild animals, especially carnivores specifically, as like, okay, they're not like these. It's like sometimes people are like, oh, they're overly good or they're overly bad. Like, can we just accept them for what they are? Like, yes, they kill to eat,
Hmm.
yes, they do these things, like,
Hmm.
but I think that accepting those animals as they are and not projecting onto them like what we think and feel, like,
Hmm.
I think it also just helps us internally, though, realize like, oh, these are some of the different like traits that we have that we can work on as well. I think
Yeah.
that kind of, I don't know, I think that there's an importance of acceptance, when we accept other things, that we can hopefully do that with ourselves, and that can help heal a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very well said.
Yeah, thanks. I was going a little bit, and then I was like, okay, how do I like pin this together? But I have a fun question for you, because one of my favorite accounts is Torons of they have like the Torons of Yellowstone, the Torons and that. Have you encountered any
Mm.
Torons? Have you what are some of your favorite Toron stories
Oh
that
yeah.
you can? For people that don't know what Toron means, it is a
Mm.
tourist and a moron. So there's a famous
Tourist
saying: "Don't
moron.
pet the fluffy cows," which are bison. Don't do it, because you'll get hurt.
Yeah. And it's always the bison, it seems
Yeah,
like.
it's always about like I saw people come super close to the bison, maybe 5 feet, and try to take a photo or try to take a selfie with the bison in the background. I'm like, girl, you can die. I mean, you need to leave.
They can run 35 miles an hour. They don't. They just
They don't
look
even have to
slow
run. They
on
just
people.
do
Yeah.
this, and you're dead.
Gore you.
So that's
Have you
what I've seen. Or people will
you've
just
seen just really close? Have you seen anyone
like
get
just
nicked?
stop in the middle of the road and. No, I've never seen
No.
anyone. No, I've never.
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah. It came close a few times, the same people. But yeah, like one time I was over at Mud Volcano, and this bison was walking along the railing. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's probably like a 4 foot high just post around the Mud Volcano area, and the bison happened to come walking by, and people were like literally like probably 5 feet or a couple feet from the bison. All that separated them was basically that little skinny uh, tree post, basically, and they could jump over 6 feet high. People don't realize that, and this people got close, and the bison went like this, and like almost got one of them. Yeah, because they were so close. It was kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They look like they're
Yeah.
slow when they're just grazing and just
Mhm.
minding their own business, but that can change in an instant.
Yeah. So there's a
And they're
saying.
fast. They're not slow.
So there's a saying: if you see their tail up, there's either charge or discharge. So if they're not discharging, it means that they're agitated.
That means they're gonna be.
And discharge means
No.
oh, so funny. I love that. That's a good saying. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's so great. I had no idea they could jump 6 feet. That's crazy. They don't look like they can with those big humps on their back,
Yeah.
but wow,
No.
No.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't even underestimate
I don't think I've ever
the
seen one jump
herbivores
6 feet,
out
but I
there.
saw one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying, Brian, you saw.
Yeah,
you
especially
saw one.
during the rut season.
Oh.
I said I
yeah.
don't think I've ever seen one jump 6 feet, but my first year here in 2018, over here in Canyon, they had a bison. Well, I think they all named him Carl, but there's a bison that hung out over here in the village, and they would call him Carl. And we were closing the gift shop there, and he came right next to the gift shop, and all was separating us was a pane of glass, basically the window. And there's probably, I don't know, it's probably 3 or 4 foot rocks there, and he just jumped right over it
Oh wow.
like nothing. Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Wow.
I have a
Wow.
photo somewhere of him with just his face.
Oh, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
then maybe just as like a last little question for you guys. I know you guys have seen lots of wolves, and everything like that, but like what is like do you guys have any particular things that you've missed, or that like you'd want to see that maybe you haven't seen yet, or you're just ready to just keep going and see what nature gives you?
Well, even though I've been here 8 years, I've never seen a takedown until this year, and that was way far out in Lamar Valley. So, and me, I'd like to see him actually take down an animal. Uh,
Wolves.
Wolves, yeah, see wolves take down a bison or an elk that wasn't as far, like 2 miles away. That's probably the thing I
Yeah,
would like to see. I
yeah.
mean, I've seen pretty much everything else in between.
Very cool. And
Yeah.
Natasha, what about you?
Natasha.
What would I like to see? More wolves.
Wolves.
This year I was lucky to see a family of mountain lions, which was insane.
Wow, that's hard to
Because
find,
I
right?
saw, yeah,
Tell me the story.
yeah. So I was driving. This was in the Grand Tetons ish. I was driving and there was still snow on the ground. It was in April, and I noticed this giant scat on the side of the road, kind of like on the hilly side in the snow. And I was like, is that a wolf? Looks bigger than a wolf scat. I've never seen such a big scat, but it definitely looks like a predator scat. And so I got out of my car and I looked closer and I was like, you know what? This could be a mountain lion scat. So I have a friend who has a friend who's an expert. I was like, hey, can you send your friend this photo? Because I really think there's a mountain lion. And then there were some tracks around, but they were kind of in an old snow and there was new snow that fell over them. So we weren't sure if I was looking at the wolf tracks or the mountain lion tracks, but I didn't see any claws. Usually mountain lion tracks, they retreat their claws when they walk. And I was like, you know what? I think there's a mountain lion here. There was like smaller tracks and bigger tracks and smaller scat and a bigger scat. And I was like, this has to be a mom and a baby. And so I just hung around at that area. I saw the scat and the tracks around 7 in the morning or 8 in the morning, and I hung around until the evening in that area because I just kind of had a feeling that they were there. Never in a million years did I think that I would see them. I just was like, maybe I'll see a tail, maybe I probably won't see anything. Like, who am I kidding? And eventually I started driving up and down the road, maybe I could see something. And eventually I got tired of driving, so I just parked. Didn't even realize that there were 3 wild cats about 80 feet away from my car by the side of the road, actually. And this road is not very well traveled in the winter. It's pretty slow. And all of a sudden I just look and there's a mom sitting by the road and her 2 cubs just laying by the side of the road. And I was like, to me, it looked like I saw 3 unicorns, like something that you just don't see, like, a mountain lion, let alone 3. And that was one of my probably top encounters. That was insane. That was just insane. Something I did not expect.
Wow.
But I guess I loved, and then I was like, you know what? Then you kind of become addicted. Like you want to see more mountain lions, But I probably will never see another mountain lion. Who knows? There are people who live in the mountain lion country that never see them because they're such ghosts, and that's okay. That's okay. But
So you want to see more mountain lions?
Yeah, I would like to see more mountain lions. I would like to see more coastal wolves because they are just so cool.
Oh yes.
I'd like to see obviously more wolves. I'm always looking for wolves. I don't know. I feel like I've seen a lot, but maybe a few more mountain lions.
That's cool. The mountain lions are
Island
cool.
has a lot of mountain lions. Probably the highest concentration.
Wow.
Yes, they are.
That's really cool. Brian, how many mountain lions?
I went to Vancouver Island recently. Didn't see any mountain lions, but maybe I'll go look for them in that area because there's just such a high concentration. Maybe I'll be lucky.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Brian, have you seen mountain lions?
What's that? Sorry.
Sorry. I said, Brian, did you see have you seen mountain lions?
Did you see the mountain lion?
Yeah, so I've seen four over my time here in Yellowstone. So it was, I can't remember what year it was, but for some reason, my phone didn't charge that day, and I got over. Now you can't get to the area because they're redoing the bridge over there between Tower and Lamar Valley. There's a place called Wrecker Pullout, and just past that bridge, and got a call that there were some mountain lions over there, so I went over there and discovered my phone was dead. So there's a mom and two kittens, but they're like 2 miles away. So well, they were actually like probably a year old because they're fairly big. They're almost as big as the mom when I saw them, and
Oh,
they're
wow.
by some basalt cliffs. And so I was looking with my scope and couldn't get any photos, so I had no proof of them. But there's tons of other people there that were watching them, and one of my friends ended up sending me some photos that I got. And then it was winter of 24. Yeah, I think February 24, there is a mountain lion out there in Lamar Valley, up above Hitching Post. I think it had killed a mountain goat or something that was up on the hillside up there. But same thing, it was middle of the day and you couldn't really see it, but
Mm.
don't have really great photos, not like Natasha's. So,
You know what? I just realized I would love to see lynx
oh,
and bobcats.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, I'd love to
Yes.
photograph them.
Yeah, maybe you guys should come. We should do a trip to North Carolina to Alligator River because my friend Aspen, who's down there, just got an
come to,
incredible picture of a bobcat down there. We were lucky to see a bobcat mom and her baby last year, which was really, really cool. But the lynx are also they're gorgeous. I know Ben got a couple of like unreal shots. I remember him
Yeah.
telling me about that. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we need to go to
Awesome.
Canada.
Yeah, we need to go to Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bobcats. I saw a bobcat. There was a bobcat was it February last year in Yellowstone?
It was, last year, or the year before, there was
Yeah, there was a
bobcat
bobcat.
that was on a deer carcass over in Firehole Canyon. Either it chased the deer off the ledge or something else chased it off the ledge. And so the bobcat basically just sat there and ate the deer. And all
Yeah.
the people that came on the snow coaches, they were getting some pretty cool photos of that.
I
I wish
saw
I was there.
I saw that bobcat
Yeah.
going up the rocks, and by the time I pulled my camera, it was gone.
Oh,
So,
really?
Ah, of
but it
course.
was really cool to see. It's just like this really cool animal.
Yeah, it's so
I've
cool,
seen
right? Like
bobcats being from California, so
mm, yeah, it's like the more you look, the more you find, right? Like, like the more you're out there, you're like, okay, well, there's so much now to
Yeah.
see. I just wanted to thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast and sharing all your amazing stories with me, and I'm really glad that we connected. And I hope I can come out and see Yellowstone with you guys one time. It would be so fun. But just let everybody know
yeah,
how they can reach
let us
Yeah,
know
you
when you
thank
and
you.
come.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So my company's name is Hayden Valley Nature Tours, just because I love Hayden Valley so much. And you could go online to haydenvalleynaturetours.com to book. We also have Instagram called Yellowstone Rewild, and we're also up on Viator, I believe. TripAdvisor is going up, maybe on Airbnb experiences. We're on Get Your Guide as well. And
wonderful.
there's also a phone number you could call as well if you want to book or have any other questions. We'll talk to my brother. He's in California. He's helping me with this. So his name's Brandon.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
You could follow me on Instagram at Brian Burrus Photography on Instagram
Perfect.
as well if you want to see some of the photos that I'll share later.
Great. Perfect. And Natasha,
I think that's it.
how can people find and connect with you?
My name on Instagram it's all one word, Wolf Stone Heart, because I love wolves and I love rocks because I studied geology. Wolf Stone Heart, one word. Please
Perfect.
follow and I'll follow you back. I love my Instagram community. I love sharing and I love speaking out for the wolves and wild animals.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys take gorgeous pictures, and I'll share some at the end here. And I just wanted to thank you guys so much again for coming on, and thank you so much, Wild Ones, for listening. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Revel in the moment like a river flowing to the sea. I feel the energy of life force flowing all through me, and I'll allow it all to dance with my body and play. And no one could ever convince me to give my power away.